Everybody, this week we have big news for Ouya users, dinosaurs, and time for cucking. This is episode 10 of the Indie Game Riot. Indie Game Riot! Everybody, this is JaShinYa, and that is right. This is episode 10 of the Indie Game Riot. We've made it through
the big 1-0.
The big 1-0. We have just
Double
hit.
digits.
We've just hit tween age. Congratulations, Indie Game Riot. Although it doesn't seem like that much, 10 episodes, but when you think about it, it's 2.5 months right there of nonstop of consecutive weeks of podcasting. How do you feel about 10 episodes, Rob?
Big.
You feel big.
Sorry,
I feel big.
No, it's actually I'm really stoked about this. I did not anticipate. Like, I'll be kind of honest. There was that niggling doubt at the back of my mind saying this is not actually going to go anywhere. You guys are going to do a couple of episodes together, and then it's just going to die out, and nobody's going to care. And
I see how this is.
Well, no, it's.
I'm a professional podcaster. Damn it.
You may be, but I'm a professional asshole, and, professional assholes look for things to fail. That's why we make really good critics. And so, like, I really wasn't anticipating us to make it 2.5 whole months of every week, even with all of the problems that we tend to have, Fubart intros and Fcuk recordings and, like, stuff like that. It happens. But, like, we've not only have we had 10 actual full-on episodes, like the live broadcast at Indie 3, and, like, this has been a really amazing project, and I can't wait to see what happens when we hit the big triple digits.
That's big triple digits. But that's when you actually 11 episodes if you count the live show.
That's true.
Tons of fun. And I'm still thinking about doing live shows on a more regular basis. But we'll see. We'll talk about it. Secondly, if you guys out there listening or watching or whatever the hell you're doing right now haven't noticed yet, Tech is not here. Don't really know why, but in his place, we do have the Whizzy-Pizzy WizFish.
Hey, you know what? I am like the worst understudy too right now. But it's good to be here.
At the moment.
Yeah. I have those little Debbie brownies.
It sounds really good. Now I want one.
The ones that aren't even brownies, they're just kind of like poo bricks of chocolate.
They have like the little nuts in them, yeah. The ones that like stain your teeth.
Yeah, like my teeth hurt right now. Anyway, but I'm here.
Well, you've been through the gauntlet once, so and I mean, granted, the first time was a little bit more organized than this episode was because, surprise, we have to record early because July 4th, everyone's doing stuff. So, and we were like, we don't have much time between episodes, and we just didn't have anything done. So, hence the Fubart intros, as Rev says, which you
it was the Fcuked up intros.
The Fcuked up, yeah, intros, and WizFish, aka Casey.
Like, this guy's here for no good reason. It's just we weren't prepared. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Josh asked me to come on like 2 minutes before they were like throwing a show together. So
we didn't even have the show notes yet. Like we didn't even have an outline. It was just like, oh yeah, Casey's like, yeah, I'm gonna go outside and have a cigarette. I'll read through the show notes and brush up on stuff. And like his first comment was, wow, it's a blank page.
I told you, though, we can blame it on Tech, because that's the only reason I didn't give you more notice is because he just didn't show up. He probably forgot that we're recording early, to be honest.
It happens.
But,
it happens.
Whatever. But that's how things go. So,
Casey, since Josh didn't want to say it, because, it's Josh, thank you for coming on Indie Game Riot again.
Why the hell would I say
absolutely. Why would I say thank you? No, it's my pleasure to be here. I wish that I, had some more time to prepare so that I wasn't walking into this thing blind. But hey, not the first time. So
no, it's okay. Josh is blind in one eye. You can. It's all good.
Yeah, I got
his eyeballs are sweating.
Yeah, exactly. Ew. I just had this image of eyeballs sweating, and it was painful and disgusting at the same time.
I feel whenever I look at you.
Well, Rev and I
shots fired.
We're all excited for July 4th and everything like that, and that's when we're usually recording. But this episode will still be out, obviously, if everyone's listening to this. I don't know. I'm acting like there's already a live audience or something like that. But the episode is going to be out on Monday, obviously. So if there's a gap in news, that is why. So,
yeah.
Any special events going on that we should know about before we move on?
Nah, I'm gonna be at FantasyCon in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're leaving tomorrow, July 2nd, and I won't be back until the show gets released. But I just got a picture of my kid in his Link cosplay. Like we made him a Hylian shield from Ocarina of Time, and he borrowed one of my LARP swords and Ocarina.
I'm gonna Ocarina.
You know what? You can't pronounce Ouya, so cut me some slack on an obscure musical instrument.
But an obscure instrument, but one of the most popular games of all time.
Yeah, and they don't actually say it anywhere in there,
except for the title.
The only audio in that game that's supposed to be like vocal is like Ganondorf going and the stupid fairy going, "Hey,
listen." And the owl.
In the girl singing.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game.
Welcome to I won't say the word because I don't want to be the tiebreaker. Welcome to O of Time cast.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on going to your con, and WizFish, congratulations on being Wizzy. And congratulations me for sweating my ass off. Up next is Indie News Injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
This week on Indie News Injection, we have the Ouya announcements. Sorry for that crack at you, Josh. That's makeup for the crack you took at me for last week.
No one knows why everyone's making fun of me. It's because in the botched intros, the multiple botched intros that I did, I couldn't pronounce Ouya. I kept pronouncing it Ouya. And tell me out there, people, when you look at it, it looks like the word Ouija, which is also starting with an OU. That's why.
So everything that starts with the letters OU sounds like Ouija?
OU, shut the hell up. How about that?
Okay, so moving into the actual announcements. Ouya has announced that Phase 1 of Ouya Anywhere is kicking off. You do not have to buy an Ouya in order to play Ouya games. They are cross-platforming as the owners of Mad Catz Mojo, the Android-based micro console, and you can now pick up games out of the Ouya store. So awesome on this. It's the company announced back in March that they were doing the Ouya Everywhere initiative to get all of the games on Ouya out to as many places as physically possible. And so if you don't have an Ouya like myself, and you don't have an Mojo like myself, then this doesn't really do you any good, but,
And you don't give a crap.
You probably don't care, but I'm excited for it because that means there's other equipment that's coming out that's going to be able to pull the Ouya games, and then I won't have to wait for Super Pixalo on Steam.
What do you think, though? Do you think that they're going to actually release this to more popular platforms, like the consoles that we have available to us, the mainstream consoles? Do you think they would come up with like an Ouya app at some point? Like, I think no, but I was curious.
I would think no, because
there is an Android TV thing coming out, right?
Yeah, that might be
because Ouya runs that Android programming. Don't they?
That's that's a very good hypothetical. I don't anticipate seeing it on, say, the Xbox One or the 360. I could possibly see it happening on the PS4, just because Sony seems to have a better track record on integrating other people's systems.
Okay. I thought you were going with the indie part of it.
So I could potentially see it there, but I don't foresee it happening with Microsoft because they're kind of like dicks, and I could see it spreading out to like the Google Play Store, and possibly iPhone and a couple others that are out there.
Well, let me ask you this: if I mean, I guess because a lot of these games are only available on Ouya, maybe at this point, but at the same time, most of them are probably trying to spread to other, venues as well.
Correct.
So if they're trying to, not that this isn't a good thing, but if they're trying to like push it so that you don't actually have to own an Ouya console, what is the point of even doing it through Ouya?
Because it's pulling from the Ouya catalog directly. So it's basically like my understanding of how they've integrated with the Mojo here is that the console itself has an Ouya app, and it connects through to the Ouya store, and everything's been coded so that it pulls the game directly down to this particular console. So kind of like Casey was talking about, could we see this on other consoles? It's technically possible.
So do you think maybe at this point, like the other way they could go is maybe like kind of like a Steam launcher type of thing, but Ouya launcher instead? Like,
That's like the last thing we need, honestly. I'm tired of having so many games on my computer that each have their own silly store and their own silly launcher. Like, I open Steam, I want to play Far Cry 3. I open Far Cry 3, it opens Uplay, and now I got to launch it through Uplay. Like, Steam launches Uplay that launches Far Cry 3. It's like, it blows my mind. It's a rant. I'm going to stop now.
No, I like that rant because I agree with it. But I don't know. That might be something that they have down the line as being one of their projected projects. But I'm with Casey on this one. I wouldn't necessarily want to see an Ouya client.
Yeah,
so
I'm
saying that we agree.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree too, because I don't even have that many launchers, but I mean, there's like there's Origin, which is a problem unto itself, and then I have Desura and Steam. Those are like the three big ones I have. But if you go through like the Google, I've never actually used the Google store.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through that, is that like a direct download to your computer, or because I thought that was kind of like the same thing where they have their own launcher where it's like, here's your Google Store games.
I don't use Google Play or the Google Store on my computer. I exclusively use it on my phone and my tablet. So
Same here. Yeah.
I don't have the answer to that. But it's possible. We'll say that.
All right. Well, do you have any other info on the Ouya?
On the Ouya? Yes. The Ouya and the Ouya and the... Never mind. So the second part of the announcement that also just came out yesterday is that the Ouya is now offering a subscription program, because as it currently stands, you kind of get to play a demo of the game. It's a couple of levels of it, and hey, everything's well and good, and then you pay the $2.99 or the $3.99 or the $9.99, whatever it is that they charge for the game, and download it to your console and play it that way. Right now, they're going for a subscription program, and it looks like it's going to be a bit more expensive than other kind of programs like Xbox Live or something like that. But the way that they're doing it is you have access to everything. Like, it is a complete access to the library for the one annual fee, and it's only being tested right now, so it's not. I kind
I kind of like that though, because it's $60 for
free
for 12 months of access to any of their games, and they have over 800 games.
Any of their game that costs less than $30. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, do they have big AAA games on Ouya? Because I don't really know too much, to be honest, about Ouya. I mean, I know the Kickstarter story and everything like that, but
I don't know if they have the big huge triple Assassin's Creed and stuff like that.
Because what would cost over $30?
Well, they do have some of the older type games that have been brought back, stuff like Double Dragon.
Oh, okay. Wait, they're charging $30 for Double Dragon?
No, I don't know. I'm just kind of going through a list of it, but I guess they do have games that are fairly large productions. They've got Shadowgun and Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. Mm-hmm. So, Sega's releasing on the Ouya, and
was there any talk of for the games that would exceed the 30 for I don't know, an extension to this all-you-can-eat sort of plan, so that you can get all the games, even the ones that are over $30, for maybe a higher subscription cost? Was there any talk of that?
Or maybe a discount.
I don't believe that they have that taken into account at the moment. So it's really just the they've got Final Fantasy 3 on the Ouya. Just FYI, I just saw that. It doesn't seem to be that they're taking that into account. But if you download the game, and they're considering the download of the game. I was talking to our good buddy Phil Royer from Super Pixalo, and asked him his experience with this, and he was saying at the moment it's excuse me, at the moment it seems as though they're going to get the same split as they did before as the developer, and he thinks it's going to be easier for the developers to make money off of it. It looks like they will get paid. The devs will get their cut of the pay when somebody downloads the game and has the unlimited account. So they're considering downloading the game as though you bought it.
So okay, that's cool.
and unfortunately,
I guess go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I guess it's worthy to note that apparently any sort of extra stuff, features, DLC-ish kind of things, not that you can really consider it DLC for the Ouya, but that is not included in that blanket subscription model. That the stuff you have to pay extra for is still stuff you have to pay extra for.
Yeah.
So.
As well as any in-game purchases.
Right.
So,
damn microtransactions.
One of the things that they were talking about, and apparently this sold out rather quickly. They announced that they were going to be releasing this on a pilot program on a very limited basis. Some few thousand people or a few hundred people tops, type deal. And then they put out a public link on the Ouya website saying, "Hey, you can get this," and They completely sold out almost instantly. So it looks like it's going to be a good idea.
All right.
For that.
Well, next up, because I'm just mad that I can't pronounce Ouya correctly all the time, we're going to move on to, what do you got, Rev? A game jam, right?
Yeah, I've got a game jam. WATHTA. Hashtag WATHTA. Indie devs are striking back at Ubisoft's PR fumbles. So Ubisoft at E3 just recently kind of made the bizarre mention that the reason why the new Assassin's Creed doesn't have a female protagonist is because women are too hard to animate. And apparently that irritated a lot of people. Rightfully so. And so they decided to throw in a game jam that is devoted to women protagonists. And hashtag WATHTA, women are too hard to animate. It's only got a couple of days left, but as of this recording. But you guys, when this comes out, we will have a link to the compiled list of games that came out during the jam.
And at the moment, there are 20 games submitted. So 20 games to tickle your fancy.
And some of them look really, really good. Like I'm not just saying that because I'm me and placating, but no, like some of them, the art styles look really fantastic. Some of them appear to have a lot of work that have been put into them. In fact, one of them I found out was actually submitted at not Indie 3, but at the actual E3, and showplaced a demo there. So there are some rather big work goings on in the realm of female main character animation.
Some of these look pretty cool. But did Ubisoft ever, like, did they say why exactly they said too hard to animate, even though they already did it for the Black Flag DLC or it was like the one that came out before Black Flag?
You're thinking, I want to say it was Revolution. No, it wasn't Revolution. Anyways, no, they did not. At least not that I'm aware of. It sounds like it was one of those off-the-cuff type
bad
comments. Yeah,
I'm sure they did not even mean for this to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It was somebody that felt energetic about it and was put on the spot and kind of made a poor emotional reaction comment.
Like, I don't know what exactly they're talking about. Are they, like, I hate to be the one who's crude here. Are they talking about breasts bouncing, like during movement, like animation in that regard, or just?
I think, if in my mind, I think they're maybe saying, like, because in Assassin's Creed, because I mean, it's not. I don't think it's that women are too hard to animate. I think I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt is what I'm trying to say.
Give it a
I'm scatting, yeah. I think maybe with a strong feminine lead in Assassin's Creed, maybe it's hard to make them very strong without looking. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, they don't want to give them too much of a hit swipe, but at the same time, they want to make them look feminine. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to.
Or maybe he was like, I don't even know who said this, so like maybe he's wrong, but I'm sure it's a he. Anyway, maybe this person, maybe they're addressing the fact that women maybe aren't hard to animate per se, but are controversial to animate. Like, women gamers tend to get angry about, the sexism that's involved with making, female models in games looking, of course, sexy. We have the Lara Crofts and whatnot. Basically, any female lead in a game has been, pretty gorgeous. Maybe they're trying to avoid that whole thing. Maybe, just avoid the whole sexism thing. I don't know. It's a take. It's an angle you can go with.
You could go with that if they hadn't already released a game that had a female protagonist.
That's what gets me the most.
Like, there is I don't think it was a full-on console release game or PC release game, but they did have. Ubisoft did have, I think it was for the PS Vita or Vita, whatever, however you pronounce that.
Look at you, can't even pronounce Vita.
Ouya, don't like it.
Ouya? Vita. Anyways, they had a full-on game for that had a female protagonist. So obviously it's not, how I don't know. It can't be the design aspect on it. It can't be, it's hard to make them still look and feel badass while being feminine, because they pulled it off once and that game was well received. I think it was just a poorly timed phrasing for somebody who didn't think about how the world and the internet can react to an emotionally charged subject. For
someone who is now fired. Well, anyway, that's enough talking about Ubisoft. More about this game jam. Is there any other information or news that you have for this?
Pretty much, it started off that they were going to do they were going to make it a competition, and the viewer vote was going to determine a winner. And then they realized that kind of defeats the whole purpose of what they were going for, and have decided to change the rules. It is now no longer even a competition. It is a celebration of female protagonists in games instead of, the high pressure competition.
What's interesting is, and I'm sure that the banner at the top of this article is not exactly super related, to the people that are right behind it, but I'm seeing a lot of secondary characters that are females, and aside from Lara Croft.
Oh, yeah, ones that aren't.
Yeah, they're not female leads at all, like any of those, except for Croft.
Well,
Yeah, you're
Peach
right.
was in. Oh wait, no, that's great.
Well,
Cortana and yeah.
well, let's wrap this up by giving your favorite female protagonist.
Oh God.
Yeah, on the spot.
Oh man.
You want me to go first, or?
Yeah. You go first.
All right, the one that comes off the top of my head right now is Ellie from The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's my choice too.
Oh, what a cop! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Ellie from The Last
it's
of
easy.
Us
It's easy.
is a fantastic female protagonist. I mean, she wasn't the main because you got Joel, but
No, she was the main character. I don't care what anybody
true.
says.
I mean, yeah, I guess it did center around here, so yeah. But Ellie, she was a badass. I mean, she was only like 13 in the game, so you can't really say she was like overly feminine. But I mean, she was tomboyish too. But they kept her feminine qualities as a girl, but made her still badass, even as a tomboy or anything like that. And she was really strong, everything like that. All the stuff that feminists and people who just enjoy female protagonists in general like.
Yeah, she's easily probably the strongest female character candidate like ever.
I don't know. I've got one. I've got one that might top that.
Let's hear it.
Lieutenant O'Neill, played by Demi Moore in the movie G.I. Jane.
Oh, we're
talking
not going
games here.
Yeah, I thought we were talking games.
I couldn't think of any in games.
Starbucks
opinion
from
is
Battlefield Galactica.
Your opinion is invalid.
I literally I've been racking my brain trying to think of a protagonist that was female that
But
wasn't.
isn't that a problem though? Like the fact that we have to rack our brains about it. We should be able to just pull up several.
I think you should. I think you should, and I don't think that the ability to have to play as a male shep or fem shep from Mass Effect.
I was just about to bring that up.
Because that would be my secondary. That would be my secondary. Would be fem shep, but that's
not really fair because you can change it, right?
And canonically, it's a male shepherd.
It's the same exact thing, just with boobs. So,
I don't know. I think Samus is a good example.
Oh, I didn't.
Samus isn't bad, yeah.
But it almost doesn't count because her femininity has nothing to do with anything that's Metroid related.
One game where they tried to bring
Most
her
people didn't even know
femininity
she
into
was.
it, blew. That's a rant for another time. Is how they screwed up Samus for the other M. But I'd agree. It is an issue. It is an issue, and I am glad to see this game jam that is coming out, and we've got 20 so far. How many more can we get by in the next couple of days?
Maybe.
What about GLaDOS from Portal though? Does that count?
She's not a protagonist.
Yeah, well, she's
the antagonist. Chell is.
Well, in Portal 2. No.
Yeah, Chell is the protagonist in Portal 1. Chell.
But yeah, you're right. She is female too. So I mean, there's.
But she's the Gordon Freeman version of a female.
Right.
If you don't look at yourself through a portal and go, oh, she has a ponytail and a bust line, you would never know.
Right. That's true.
This is an interesting topic. I could go on, but we probably change. I like the whole woman protagonist thing. It's fun.
Well, I'm hoping what comes out of this game jam, because there's some cool looking stuff in here. Now, granted, the graphics don't really allow for a full femininity showing of the woman, while at the same time maintaining badassery. But
what do you need to demonstrate femininity? I mean, at max, what do you need?
Well, let's put it this way: if you for instance, the original Samus, just pixelated, you know what I mean? Like you barely even knew she was a female if you didn't know the backstory. So it's kind of the same problem where you wouldn't with Portal, you wouldn't know unless you already did your research on it. So same thing goes with games without that great of graphics. You're like, okay, I know this is a girl, so I mean, there's that part of it. But as far as visually speaking, there's a nice thing like what they did in. I hate to go back to the AAA, but they did in that one Assassin's Creed game that came out before Black Flag. I can't remember what that was called. Where they made it's very obviously a woman, and I think most women want to feel feminine, so it's okay for them to make the woman look feminine, but at the same time, without just completely making it misogynistic and have tits bouncing left and right like fucking fucking dead or alive beach volleyball. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I didn't get to hear Rev's his actual gaming woman choice.
No, I honestly,
you folded? Is that really it?
I folded. I'm sticking with G.I. Jane. I'm sticking with G.I. Jane.
I love that scene when she's like, "Suck my." Yeah. I can't pick the same one as you, Josh. Even though that was going to be my first pick. I don't know. My close second is probably Elizabeth from BioShock, though.
That's not bad. I like how, because in that game they kind of like she was very feminine damsel in distress at first. At least that's how it came off. But
I fell in love with her. She was like adorable.
She really grew out of that.
She was so sweet.
She grew out of that. She became less naive, and her abilities were so important to the story.
And in many ways, she was stronger than
the actual player.
Right. As a character or as a person, because he was the one that was a dick all the time.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we've been talking about this for a while. So,
okay. Moving on.
Now the next one.
See, here's the part. I fed you some really good segues to this one too. Like, I really did. When you hear back on this recording, you'll be like, "Oh, that's what Rev was saying."
Well, you know what? Payback's a bitch for making fun of me this entire time. That's all. Okay. I don't know. I'm just gonna find ways to take a dump on you. So the next one is unfortunately kind of a negative thing about a game and a dev that we talked about before. Was it last episode or the episode before that?
I think it was last episode that's coming out soon.
So it's already, all episodes are out.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway,
sorry, I've been drinking for the last 2 days.
So. We were talking about a song for Viggo on Kickstarter and the dev Simon Karlsson. And recently, I guess he was promoting the Kickstarter when it had a couple days left. And one of the ways he was promoting it, and by the way, just as an FYI, the game, if you didn't know, is about a parent backing over his kid with his car on accident and then dealing with the emotional issues after that happened. And it's all in papercraft, and it's beautiful looking, and it just looks fantastic.
Handmade papercraft, and they met their goal.
Right. They did meet their goal, so it's coming. Hopefully, it's coming out, assuming nothing ruins it. But anyway, now the problem here is that he was promoting it, and he was promoting it in a forum for parents who have lost children, who deal with the same issues with depression and anxiety and whatever comes after. I thankfully haven't experienced this, and I hope I never will. But I'm sure there's all kinds of emotions that come through, anger, everything like that. And it's a forum as a safe place for these parents to kind of commune together and deal with it together, these issues. And he was promoting it there. And
why was he promoting it there?
He was promoting it there because the game is about the same subject matter, and he already had people who had gone through this experience send him messages saying, "Thank you for making this game. This looks like a great, it looks like a great message, and I think it'll be fantastic for people like me to play."
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like he was just going onto some random forum and was like, "Hey, come check out my game." It was
he wasn't just straight whoring himself. Yeah. Okay,
so like he did have the foundation. There were people that were like, "Hey, thank you for this. It sounds amazing and it could do some good." And so he found another spot that could. Okay, that makes more sense in my head.
So basically, this isn't like promoting Wolfenstein on like a Holocaust survival website. It's not the same thing.
No, he wasn't doing it just to garner more sales or anything like that. Man, I got scratches in my throat and everything. Just a second.
My bad.
But okay, so he did have a legit reason. If these other people had reached out to me and said this, why can't I reach out to them? And
well,
to others.
I don't know if the people who messaged him were actually part of this forum, but I think the idea popped into his head because he stated that he wants this game to help people. It's not about the sales or anything like that. He wants to help people because he deals with depression, not because of this issue, I don't think, but he deals with depression, and he just made this sad game and to kind of make a statement and to allow people to have a catharsis. And he was like, okay, well, if people think this is going to help them and they're really encouraging me, maybe I should spread the word to people to other people who deal with this issue. And those people didn't take it so well. Probably, I think maybe the people that messaged him might have gotten, not over it, but you know what I mean? Like the wounds have scarred over, you know what I mean, for them. That's just me speculating. I think maybe it's been a while since whatever happened to them happened, whereas the people on the forum are probably fresh out of hell, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden this game dev comes on saying, hey, check out my game about a guy killing his own kid on accident.
But you know what? Like, I'm going to read this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
There's like a quote, or at least, quasi-quote. It's paraphrased, because I think it got taken down. Is that what happened?
Well, no. Well, it's down now.
Yeah, okay, but this is basically what he said. He said, hey, and I just like how he introduces what he does. He doesn't say, "Hey, I'm making a game about your tragedy." Like, he doesn't even use the word "game." And he's very careful. He says, "Hey, this might be a strange post for you to see, so bear with me. I'm creating." He does say "game" there, but he puts interactive story about depression, about a father that accidentally runs over his son with the car. The story is about aftermath. I hope this project can reach out to parents who lost someone or suffer from depression, so see that they are not alone in this situation. He was very helpful, very sincere in what he said. And if the actual post was anything like that, I think that kind of freaking out about it, even in the midst of a fresh tragedy, honestly, no matter what, you shouldn't be reacting when you're in the midst of fresh tragedy. You should kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean that's what the person said to him. And by the way, that quote that you just read, he English isn't his first language, so that's why it's kind of off a bit about it. But what the person said to him in the forum, it says that they basically told him that he's disrespectful and exploiting tragedy, and he prays that God forgives him. So
yeah.
I think that may be. I mean, even whether or not you think that it's fresh. I think it's the people that they're already going through that anger stage. I mean, it's not just about the fresh wounds from it, but
even ignoring,
they're lashing out too.
Even ignoring all of that. I mean, from what I've experienced with Simon, which isn't a whole lot in person, I'll be honest. I'm not.
On Twitter, he's the friendliest guy.
Well, on Twitter, he's friendly. On interviews and videos and things like that. Yeah, no, he seems like a very nice, heartfelt person. And the biggest problem that I see with this is so many people I'm gonna come across as being me again, an asshole, and people never ascribe to malice what ignorance can be the cause for.
Did you just slaughter a quote from someone?
Yes, I totally slaughtered that quote.
Never.
I think it's Poe's law. Never ascribe to malice what idiocy or ignorance can do.
Fear is the path of the dark side.
Well, I mean,
so I don't.
Were you about to play devil's advocate? Was that?
No, I was trying to say I don't think that he went into this area and was like, hey, This is
give me money.
Have I got the game for you?
Exactly. I think he was very legitimately coming across this saying, hey, this is something that I'm working on that you might feel helpful. You might want to. If not, that's cool. That's totally up to you.
I don't know much about this project, but it seems like I can see why some people would say, hey, want to play this game where you could relive the worst day of your life over and over again? Maybe we'll even narrate it and give it pretty colors. I can see how that could be annoying, and I can see how people would react negatively to this. And I do kind of have to say, this is me being devil advocate a little bit. Like, I do think people freaking out about it are kind of being unreasonable, but I think that any rational human being would not have to think twice about posting something like that in a place like that. At least not till it's gotten some sort of, I don't know, some headway. I know it met its goal and whatnot, and so like maybe that's enough steam for it to have picked up to be, you know, pumping that crap all over the internet. But I don't know. As me, I would not have done that. I would have been like, well,
I see what you're saying. I do. And if it was any other circumstance, and well, no, I see what you're saying.
I think both sides.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. He had the best of intentions by going there, and it just backfired. I think the people in the forum, I think they are wrong in lashing out because it's not. He's not, like you said, he's not just pimping his stuff out. He wants to help them. And to be honest, if they don't want to relive that tragedy of their lives over and over and over through a game, then don't fucking buy it. Fcucking buy it, sorry.
There's something that for me at least would kind of make a difference here. It would be, did he make a new thread or is he commenting on existing threads?
I think he made a new thread.
It sounds like he made a new thread.
Because that seems very reasonable. Like, hey, like thread title, you know, a interactive project that could help you cope with your loss, or you know, something like that. That's very, you know, it's easy on the guys and on the feels, and you click on it if you want to. But if you're going to like, just lost little Jimmy last Thursday, you know, still sad, and he's like, hey, this game is kind of about the same thing. Yeah, that's
the former seems more in character for Simon.
Yeah, and that's what, just from the context of the quote, that's what it seems like. On the other side of things too, I mean, other than them wrongly or not freaking out about it, I think on the other side, you're right, Casey, where you don't really, I mean, he had the good intentions, but at the same time, if you think through it a bit more, it kind of seems like, okay, maybe I should not do this quite yet. Maybe just wait for them to come to me, because he was already pretty much meeting his goal. So, you know, I don't see why he had to go and do that, but I don't know. It's kind of a clusterfuck. So
clusterfuck.
Well played.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Man. Okay.
Well, we're all sad and depressed now. After that talk. We're like, oh.
Well, let me just say this though, Simon. If you are listening to this, know that we're not like saying you're like an asshole or something like that. I think it could have. I think Simon's an emotional guy, and you know he just kind of does it because in his head that's what seems like right. You know, he probably just did it on a whim. Because of, you know, his emotions and everything like that. He's not trying to disrespect people. He's not trying to whore himself out. That's what happened. And so, Simon, if you're listening to this, you know, you're not an asshole. I think you're okay in what you did, but at the same time, you know, let's just like,
might have been handled better. Yeah.
It could have handled better. And at this point, you've already, you know, I think you're starting to. It's all starting to calm down a bit and just get back to what you were doing with the game. The people that are pissed off, they're already pissed off. Leave them alone. And
I don't know. I think this guy needs a break. You know, like everything I know about Simon says. Oh, Simon says everything I know about Simon tells me that this whole reaction probably upset him more than the post upset the people in the first place. Like I feel like he probably like took this and kind of shook his head and like felt terrible about it. Like that's kind of what I feel. And Simon, if you're here listening, you know, you have support and love. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, I'm still supporting your game 100%. So,
and you and your intentions. It was well intended, I think.
So. Well,
now that we're all kind of sad and demoed.
I'm like greasy and eating brownies and
dude. Talk about greasy. I'm like about to slide off my chair with all this sweat.
You know what also builds up sweat?
Starting to riot.
Right.
And this week, starting the riots, we have a game called full Mojo Rampage. I don't know why I did the drums, but maybe it kind of
super hot mode.
Well, no, maybe it kind of matches because it's like a voodoo thing. This game is very voodoo themed, and maybe I don't know. Are there voodoo drums? I don't know. Anyway,
voodoo. If not, there will be.
Yeah, now there are. Thank you, me. Full Mojo Rampage is a roguelike, and it takes place within the confines of the voodoo reality. Is there such a thing as a voodoo reality? I don't know, but that's what this game says.
Well, I guess if you're into voodoo, yes, there is a voodoo reality.
And it says, in this realm, only the most powerful rights and powers can provide a safeguard against evil. Dying is not the end, only the beginning to become a stronger voodoo soul. And this game has randomly generated items and levels. It's 3D, so every single time, this huge replayability value.
Yeah.
And every time you die, or every time you play, you can level up and unlock things. So even though you die, your character still gets improved. There's online co-op, up to 4 players that can play through the campaign. There's also versus modes for multiplayer. Like I said, there's lots of items and unlockables and things like that. There's like a class system around each voodoo, I don't know, god or priest or whatever the hell. Really cool music, and it's actually the same guy who did music for Prison Architect. Wait, is there music in Prison Architect? Now that I'm thinking about it, but that's what this says. Anyway, Alistair Lindsay is the music composer. Apparently he's from Prison Architect. I didn't know there was music. And lots of Easter eggs in the game if you like to go hunting for that sort of stuff. The game is made by Over the Top Games. That's the studio. And it was released back in May. But...
which is not too far.
No, actually, I think maybe... I don't think it was fully released back in May, was it?
Yeah, I don't...
Oh, no, yeah, it is. It was released back in May as a full release, because that's 1.0. So, and it continues to get updates through patches and things like that. So, any questions?
You over the top kid? No. I was just going to comment on the fact that our complete ignorance of the voodoo religion. It's like, yeah, we kind of know nothing about this. So what does it look like? In general, like I'm getting almost a MOBA feel to it.
Well, it has that kind of semi top down type of thing, like the MOBA does, like in Dota.
Yeah.
But I don't think the gameplay. It's being a rogue. Like I don't think it's. Although maybe the multiplayer verses are. That might be kind of like Dota. You know what I mean? But I think this is more of I want to say
more like a Warcraft 3 than.
Well, I've never played Warcraft 3. I'm trying to think. It's more of like a. There's a lot of games that are kind of like this now.
Sumo Boy.
Sumo Boy is kind of like that, and Bastion is kind of like it. Yeah. Magicka. A lot of indie games are this kind of like semi-top-down type of deal. It's not completely top-down, but it's definitely from far away from the top, kind of like diagonally. I don't know how to explain that, but anyway, a lot of games are in this style. You stated that you don't really like that view. What's the issue with that for you?
I don't know. It's never really struck me as being one of the best ways. It's very much RTS-ian. And I got to stop adding that to random words. I'm verbing all of my nouns. It seems like it's almost trying that particular view says to me I'm trying to be an RTS game, but I'm not actually an RTS game. So
you think that view is just strictly for RTS?
I know it's not, and I know that this is one of those hang-ups that I'm going to have to overcome, but it really, to me, that particular view will always harken back to Command and Conquer and Red Alert and StarCraft and all of the RTS, even Warcraft 3, which is what League of Legends and Dota were based on. I
can kind of see what you're saying, but I think I've already gotten over that hump.
And I don't play enough games that aren't on a console that I can get over that easily. easily. Like, there are games that I have and can, but it's more of a struggle for me to get into.
One other thing, though, that you, or at least your wife might like, is that there's like a lot of customization for your characters from what I'm seeing here. You said your wife likes to do like the dress-up type of thing in games, so she might really like that. So we can all, you can play, your whole family can play if you get a 4-pack. You just get all on different laptops and
go to town.
Yeah.
I have a 4-pack right on my torso. It's like boom, boom, boom. Actually, just boom. I meant to say boom, boom. It's a 4-pack.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's a 4-pack. The other one's a dud, though. It's a little flat.
Forget about that part.
So they do have the single player campaign, although apparently that's not going to be nearly as fun as the 4-player co-op. Now, my downside on the co-op is that they don't have it's not specifically LAN, it's over the internet, which I guess you can do.
Do that many people really play on LAN now? I gotta be. I know you and Tech are fanboys for LAN, but I mean, who's really going to each other's houses and just hooking up directly?
Awesome people, that too.
I can't even remember the last time I've done that. Did I do it? I think maybe I've done that with you, Casey, a couple times, but
I have no comment.
Casey a couple of times.
Yeah.
So no, like I'm a big fan of the LAN. It brings back what gaming was to me when gaming started to become big.
Oh,
and
nostalgia.
Yes, it is nostalgia, and damn
you're
it,
just like a curmudgeon old man. Like I don't like this view because it reminds me of an RTS, and there's no other games that can do this view. And if it doesn't do land, then fuck you. And if I pooped myself.
Exactly. No, if you think about it, though, I mean, like, gaming has lost something. Okay, here's my 5-minute rant on this. Gaming has lost something.
5 minutes.
5 minutes on this. No, less than that. Okay, gaming has lost something in most recent years. It used to be when people got together to game, you had TVs in your consoles, and you had everybody hooking up into a switch in your basement with their laptops or their computers, and you could throw popcorn at each other and punch each other when they used the red shell in Mario Kart, or when that asshole picks Oddjob in GoldenEye. Like you could physically enforce the community rules of the game right then and there. And there was friendly banter, and there was getting together. Like, some of my best memories were at my buddy's house, and he had wired his entire house for Ethernet for the sole purpose of doing system-linked Halo 1 games in multiplayer. You can't beat that, and now everybody sits in their couch or on their lazy boy or at their computer, and you don't get that physical interaction. Like,
why not? What if you have two different laptops? Why do you have to LAN if there's an internet connection?
Well, because LAN is faster. You don't have to worry about the internet connection.
Not nowadays.
Unless
you have bad internet, but.
Well, there's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people only 45% of America.
For those of you in I don't know, Ethiopia or something like that can't play.
How about rural Oregon? How about Salem, Oregon, the capital of the state of Oregon? You are hugely limited in your internet choices.
Why are you living in Salem, Oregon?
Because people live there. People work there. I don't. I live in Southern
California.
California.
Not if there's not enough people to get good internet.
But that's my point.
I'm just screwing with you, though.
I know. But that's kind of my point. Like, I would love to have a time when, I make it out to the East Coast, because it's probably going to be easier for me to make it out there than it is for you to make it out here. And you and I can sit down, and you and I and Casey and Tech can all get together, and we can play some games, and it would be absolutely glorious. And what happens if your internet goes out while we're doing that? Sure. Oh, guess what? It doesn't have LAN support. So now, because some drunk person hit the cable box out on the street, we can't game on the game that we were wanting to do.
I will admit, though, that I enjoy local co-op, and I've done some network connecting with consoles before. I'm not such a fan with computers just because of how much of a pain in the ass it is for me.
Right.
But I do enjoy local co-op rather than Xbox Live or something like that. So I'm kind of with you on that part.
Okay, fair play. That was my rant on it.
Casey, since you're here, I know we got to be completely transparent with the audience. Casey was taking a piss, so.
Oh yeah. I also switched over my laundry.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I have shoes that I threw up on a couple of weeks ago, and they're like my only good shoes, and I've been flip-flopping it ever since.
When did you throw up on your shoes?
That's a whole other story for another episode. But the point is, I washed the puke off of them, but I just left it like soaking wet, so now it smells like a wet shoe that's dried, and I was like, no, so I threw it in the washer, and now I just switched over to the dryer, and there's like this really, like, it's almost like, I don't know, like a tribesman with Parkinson's trying to play the bongos. That's what it sounds like in my house right now.
And so like a voodoo drum?
Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. though.
Nice.
It's like 1 a.m. And I'm not the only one here. There's people sleeping, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And it's just because my selfish ass wants to dry my shoes. Like, this is the world I live in. Anyway,
well,
but I was gone,
that.
and fuck that. I'm back.
Well, any other questions on full Mojo Rampage?
Well, no.
Maybe.
No, no, we don't care.
I'm just gonna stomp over this way.
I do like the fact that they have the and I'm going to be looking into it. It's going to have to wait until after the website, but you know.
Yeah. Not to waste Casey's transition ploy. Since he is stomping over this way, we should stomp on over to the Peep Show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
And this week on Peep Show, we have the Stomping Land. There was a very good segue, by the way. I didn't pick up on it. So the Stomping Land, and it is a multiplayer survival game, kind of like, what was the other one that we did? The Island?
The Forest.
The Forest, yeah.
McGregor.
Yes, that was a good movie. The original was better.
I don't know.
Anyway, Stomping Land, kind of getting that same kind of foresty vibe on it, except this one has a really big draw for both me and Casey. We were talking before the show, and we both have a thing for dinosaurs.
And bingo, Dino DNA.
Oh, that was such a great movie. I can't wait for the fourth one.
This is Indie Movie Cast.
Yeah, apparently.
Indie Movie Cast.
Wait,
sorry, I've got a lot of vodka in my
even
teeth.
though none of the movies you talked about are indie.
Did you just say you have a lot of vodka in your teeth?
I just heard that too.
Oh, tea.
I sound like teeth. I was like, well,
You are.
I think you have some bad vodka.
I've got some
There's still, like,
very flavored tea.
There's still like pieces of potato and just floating around.
And then I've got some raspberry vodka that I added to it. It's mostly vodka at this point. But yeah, so there's dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are awesome. Everybody loves dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? Nobody, that too.
Everybody do the dinosaur.
You know what pisses me off about dinosaurs, though, before you go off about this game? There's like I have not seen a good game that incorporates dinosaurs well into it. There was something, have you ever played?
Turok?
It's been a while since that, but there was a game. What was it? It was Dino D-Day. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah.
It was just silly. It was like Nazis versus dinosaurs.
But
it was like a first-person shooter.
Nazi versus dinosaur.
It's actually called Dino D-Day.
Did I just say Dino D-Day?
Steam.
I don't know what you said.
Dino
Anyway,
D-Day.
I have it. Somebody gifted it to me like a couple of years ago, and it was fun for like 5 minutes, but it was so silly. And there hasn't been any like, good games that really. I would love to play something akin to like an RPG, like Skyrim-ish, or maybe even like Far Cry-ish, that had like a world full of like living, breathing dinosaurs that were you had to be like avoiding them, or whatever. I just think dinosaurs have been very underutilized.
You are in luck then, because that's kind of the whole purpose of the Stomping Land. You are playing and up to your group of friends You guys are set down in this area, and you get to create your own game. You're building. Now, here's the part that I do have issue with. It seems to be pulling more towards the Native American community, which kind of weirds me out a little bit.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be more of like a caveman.
Caveman,
thing.
Yeah.
Well, where does it exactly say Native American?
Well, it doesn't explicitly say
like,
so.
Where do you get that idea from?
They look Aztec-y to me.
If you look at some of the screenshots of the humans, they've got war paint and feathers. You can build a teepee for shelter.
They look like Aztecs, though.
Okay, well, Aztecs are Native Americans.
Still.
So, I mean, I would think they'd be going more of a caveman thing, even though it's not really a
historically
accurate.
A troglodyte than not, but
Booga booga, where the white women at?
That was such a great line from the quote. But so like you're running around trying to survive, and the dinosaurs will seriously fuck you up. They at the moment they only have 6 dinosaurs. This is because it's here on Peep Show. It's an early access game, but they only have 6. They have the Styracosaurus, the Carnotaurus, the Gillimimus, Parahelicoprion, Ankylosaurus, and the Stygimoloch. Now, honestly. Okay, quote from the best Jurassic Park was that nobody over the age 6 can pronounce a dinosaur's name, anyways. So
I pronounced Ankylosaurus at the age of 4.
I just think it's funny that they picked like 6 dinosaurs that you never heard of.
I was gonna say the only one I heard of was Ankylosaurus. The rest of them, I'm like, are you speaking language?
Gallimimus I've heard of from just Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I've heard of a couple of them.
They have a Tyrannosaurus Rex, don't they?
Well, not at the moment. That's one of those later on things. They're aiming for a total of 15 fully realized dinosaur species.
Are they going to stop at that?
Most likely not. I would assume not, but one never knows. But the whole gist of it is basically you run around, survive, and you need to hunt, dinosaurs. And sure, you can kill little dinosaurs, but that's not going to give you enough food for your tribe. And they do call it a tribe. So further evidence there.
Well,
but
tribe can be a caveman thing too.
Fair play. I would have. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that one. So they've got that, and your goal is you can ride the dinosaurs, like you can lasso them and ride them like they're horses. So all sorts of fun, and I'm stoked about this. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going to have to wait till after the website as well.
And you mentioned this comparing to the Forest. It actually, and I know you haven't really seen much of Rust, but it actually reminds me more of Rust with dinosaurs as opposed to the Forest. Although I guess the Forest and Rust and all, it was generally the same concept as far as surviving and on off the land and everything like that.
But this one has dinosaurs.
That's the big thing. And one other thing we were reading the comments left on like Steam by players and things like that, and that's where you got the Ooga Booga, where the white women at. That was in the comments.
That's the name of this episode.
Sometimes I wish I named episodes, but it's just not enough room.
Ooga Booga, episode 10.
But where episode 10 at? A lot of the things in the recommendations and things like that people left have pointed out have talked about the kidnapping part of it. So apparently, because it's multiplayer. So apparently you can run around and there's a little bit of PvP, I guess, but you can kidnap other people. And
so
people,
it's Kidnapping Simulator 2014 with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like you can like tie them up and just drag them anywhere you want. Some people like I was reading the one that you sent to us, Casey, that you were reading about. Some they let me just read this. This is an excerpt from the one of the recommendations. We set up a few tents near a rock. We were the Brotherhood of the Rock. We loved that rock. I also tied a friend of mine up and dragged him into the water to catch fish. He was known as Brother Bait. So I mean, you can tie people up and drag people, and later on they were talking about how some other people were like picking them off one by one and kidnapping him and like throwing him into a volcano or something like that. So I think if you roleplay a little bit in your mind, it makes it even more fun. Just as Neanderthals or someone like with limited.
I don't know. It just seems like very. I don't know. Based on what I've read, it seems like a bunch of tribesmen trolls just want to like ruin your day. You're trying to like go kill dinosaurs and like booga booga, and they'll grab you.
That was another
volcano.
Another Jurassic Park quote.
These are the magic ways.
Yeah.
So it does look like they were talking about having an offline mode for solo play. It's the exact same game. So if the online tribe trolls are irritating you with their hijinks and running Tyrannosaurus Rex up to you while you're trying to hunt an Ankylosaurus, you can just go offline and stab dinosaurs to your heart's content that way.
What I'm not completely sure about is like, does the progress from whatever character you're playing in offline mode carry over into online mode when you're, just say you're getting trolled and killed and kidnapped and thrown into volcanoes and sacrificed to the sun god, and you're tired of that? Can you like turn offline mode, just turn it off and then go do your thing and then go back, or is it two separate campaigns almost?
I doubt it. It's probably like a server type of thing where your world is saved.
Yeah,
like, I would guess that, like kind of like Minecraft, where if you want to do like
it does state that the character data is persistent per server. I don't know. I will shoot an email. I will try and contact Supercrit, the developer and publisher of this game, and find out for that.
Nice.
Clever
Rev.
Any other information we missed on this? I'm trying to look here.
There are dinosaurs. What more information do you need?
Dinosaurs, buy it.
Buy it.
Well,
That's
you know
the
what?
Trailer. It's just dinosaurs, and then it's over.
Well, you know what you don't need to buy? The game we have for free fun. And this week on Free Fun, we have a fucking great game that's actually kind of old, to be honest. What year did we say? 2009. Actually, it was released.
2009 was when it was released. Yeah.
And it's a game. It's a game that we thought deserves some. I don't know. Attention is what I'm trying to say. I'm so hot. I can't think straight.
You were so hot right now.
I'm so. That's hot.
His brain is boiling inside his skull.
And that game is Time Fcuk. Wait, what?
No. It's I can't even say the wrong word right.
I read it in the game's description. I might as well be drunk right now. In the game's in the game's description, it says Time Fcuk, and so anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so I got confused, but Time Fcuk. And that's why we've been saying fuck.
Fucking.
I don't even know anymore.
God.
Cuff.
Have fun with this part in post.
Beep, beep, beep.
I'm not even. No, I'm going to be honest. I'm not even worrying about this episode. That's ridiculous. I'm not even.
So yeah, they change the name every time that they mention it. It's Time Fcuk, it's Time Fcuk, it's Time Afuk. So going on about the game. Though.
You just sound like somebody's trying to say a bad word when you burned your tongue really bad on some hot soup. You're like,
fuck you,
Fcuk. Fukuya.
Talk about the game already.
It's a game about stasis. It's a game about perspective and viewing both sides of the story from afar. It's a game about blocks, platforms, drinking, high school reunions, and work time fun. It is Fez before Fez was made. If you really think about it, because the Fez's whole thing is like about perspective, correct?
Correct.
Time Fcuk is it's very similar, where you have to have a different perspective, except for this is 2D and it's a flash game on Newgrounds.com.
And is it 2D? Like,
is what 2D?
Change? Is the game actually 2D, or does it just have 2D elements? Because I would say with the introduction of multiple layers,
It's 2.5. Let's call it that.
Okay.
2.5.
2.5D.
2.5D.
2.5 Ds, baby.
2.5D glasses now.
And if you haven't played this game and you don't know what it's about, this game is actually made by the same person that made Meat Boy, Super Meat Boy, and The Binding of Isaac. So this is, and a lot of this guy's games actually started off on Newgrounds as free games. Meat Boy, for instance, started on Newgrounds as a free game, and then they fleshed it out into a fantastic platformer game that was on Xbox Live, and then moved on to a lot of other stuff. On Newgrounds, he's called Blue Baby, but you know him as maybe Edward McMillan. You've probably seen him in the Indie Game movie, if you're into that sort of thing. And basically,
if you're not, why are you listening to us?
Yeah, well, maybe we're easing them into the indie game community.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It is a puzzle platformer, and it's actually kind of challenging once you get deeper into it. But it is one of the
fourth level was challenging.
It's kind of Edward McMillan's style, where he makes challenging games, but they're not challenging to the point where you're just like Fcuk it, and then
I'm done.
You're done with it. No, he brings you right back after you die, and you can start right where right where you left off, pretty much, and just try again. And I think there's a lot more experimentation in this game too, because of the puzzles and everything like that. But it's one of my favorite games, probably on Newgrounds of all time. And I actually wish, I said this earlier in before the show, I actually wish he made this one a bigger pay-for game than Binding of Isaac, which I'm actually not personally a huge fan of, just for multiple reasons. But
Binding of Isaac makes me want to kill myself. Like, it makes me afraid to be alive.
Why?
The monsters, the whole macabre. Like, my real mother was just like his mother.
That's rather frightening.
Yeah, it's the truth, actually. And but you're right, it is macabre, and it's like, I'm not a big fan of that particular one, because his style of being incredibly hard is not something I want to do in a roguelike game. Roguelike games are hard enough because it's like permadeath, but like this is like, enjoy starting all over from the very, very beginning. I don't know. That's just me, and it's really hard. Maybe it's just because I suck. But anyway, that's enough about the Binding of Isaac. This is about time. Fuck, he's just. What?
We should have just called it Time Beep or some stuff. Time Beep.
Any questions about this game?
Does it have dinosaurs in it?
No.
Okay. No, I have played. I have played a couple of levels in this. I probably put about 10-15 minutes into it. I do like the progression on it, the challenge progression. I do like the rapid iteration. It's not super colorful, which is amazing for me. I'm totally down for that. Yeah, that's all I got. No dinosaurs, sorry.
Irrelevant, like Casey said. Just kidding. Go play it. Oh, the link will be in the description. Well, that is the
episode 10.
End of episode 10. That's right.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice, the music in the background is different from our usual one. It's probably the third. I think this is the third episode that we've had different music in. We'll continue doing that as long as people send us cool music. This one is by a fella that goes by Oranges with a 4 instead of an A in the name. He is also off of Newgrounds.com. We'll have that link in the description. He makes fantastic.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, he makes fantastic music. And if you're a musician out there or know an indie video game musician, send us a link to your music and give us permission to use it in the background of our show. We may decide to spotlight it back in the show.
A little bit of that.
Yeah. So do that, and I'll tell you how you can contact us. There's multiple ways. First of all, if you are somehow listening to this on something other than YouTube, this is hosted on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JaShinYa Gaming. That is JaShinya Gaming. You can contact us on Twitter at IGR Podcast, also on Facebook, which is facebook.com/IGR Podcast. We also have a subreddit community that you can join and discuss various topics, such as the leading woman in video games type of topic. That is reddit.com/r/Indie Game Riot.
Enable the evolution.
There you go. And finally, our website is igrpodcast.webs.com, which will eventually be becoming more of a professional-looking website with a professional looking domain eventually. There is a contact form that you can send us messages, or you can just email directly to my email, which is JaShinYaGaming@gmail.com. And of course, go visit Casey's YouTube channel, that is WizFish Gaming on YouTube.
Easy to spell. Follow me on Twitter too. It's _WizFish on Twitter.
That one.
I'll make fun of you in public.
All the links in the description. So, last words before we say goodbyes.
I am almost out of vodka.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
I'm sorry to say this, but it's Ocarina of Time.
There you go.
Bam! Sticks.
Go be sad somewhere because you're bad.
You go
should
cry
feel
into
bad.
my vodka.
But you're gonna go now.
Yep. Say goodbye.
Have a good one, guys.
Later.
Toodles. Big news for Ouya users. God, that's such a Ouya. God, I want to call it Ouya, like a Ouija board. Because it's spelled
We should have just let him say Ouya. We have Ouya announcements.
We have some Ouya announcements.
We have some great news. Okay.